Hi guys, this is Matt Granger, that Nikon guy for MattGranger.com. No, I'm not off on holidays again. I'm going to do a what's in my camera bag or camera bags for you guys. I think I understand what the appeal to these videos is. I put a shout out to find out because I never really knew. I thought it was just about gear lust, but I understand there could be some interesting things for you to learn from this. So I've brought along a lot of my kit, obviously not everything. I haven't brought all my lighting and this, that and the other. But if you're interested, I can do something on that later, maybe next month after the D4 joins the family. So I'll run through all of this, point out and give you a little overview of what I love about the different gear that's here. And then later, if you're interested, I might make some videos specifically on here's a kit that I'd take on portraiture, here's a kit I'd take to an event, here's a kit that I would take for this kind of a shoot. That may be more interesting to you, but I'll try and give you a little overview of what I love about this gear as we go through. Okay guys, so let's just jump straight into this. I've brought along 4 bags worth of gear, which is the bags that I often use. First of all, let me just give a hug and a shout out to the Nikon 24-70 zoom lens, 2.8 through the range. I have always said this is my most used lens. It's starting to become my favorite because it should be. I mean, I really use this 40% of my shots, which out of, so many different lenses, that's a big number. It's just so versatile, it's so reliable, it's always accurate on focus, it's fast. The bokeh is very, very nice, not amazing like some lenses, but reliable, and when you're shooting for money, reliable is, for me, almost the most important thing. If I can drop it and it's not going to break, if I know it's always going to grab focus, if it's going to work well in low light, if it never jams up or anything like that, that is what makes it a winner for me. Okay, now where to start? Let's open up this big boy. Now, as I said, well, I didn't say this, but I don't have heaps and heaps of gear. I have gear that does the job that I need. So just because I have it doesn't mean it's necessarily suitable for you, but I'll let you know what I use things for, so then you know if it would be useful to you. So the 24-70 is so versatile. Honestly, I use it indoors and outdoors, in studio, on location. At 24, it really isn't distorting to anything to worry about. 70's almost long enough to be, that great portrait length. It's a go-to lens for me. It's amazing. Next up, we've got, 3 things here. 3.5 because one came along for a ride. The 70-200 2.8 VR2, beautiful lens. It's so fast and it's so sharp, and the bokeh is so nice. It's really a magical lens. I can't explain how good it is. If you haven't seen it, I did a 3-way comparison between the Sigma, Tamron and Nikon, and in every regard the Nikon does perform the best. It comes at a huge price premium over its competitors, which, unless you're shooting with it all the time, or you've got a bit of money to spend, or you're really passionate, you may not be able to justify it. But as I use it for work, I can justify that, and it's that extra 5 or 10% that it has in focus and in its performance in low light, and its incredible VR and its reliability, that all add up to just make it magical. It's hard to describe how good this lens really is. Rarely use it indoors. I love it wide open. I have used it in a studio, but you need to be across the room, and if you're going to be shooting at f8 or something like that, you could get away with using a different lens. Next up, the D700. I've had that for a long time, still performing really well. It's got a lot of shots on it now, but it's a great camera. I've used D3, D3S, and the sensor in this one's really good. It may not be king of the hill anymore in terms of low light capability, but it's still right up there, and it still blows out of the water a lot of the newer cameras that have high megapixel or claims at high ISO. This one is still a force to be reckoned with. I know the 800 will come soon enough, but it's a great camera in its own right. If you're looking to go FX, we still don't know when the 800's coming. Could be soon, could be ages. You can't go too wrong with getting one because it is a fantastic camera and the build is excellent as well. I use the grip just because when I'm shooting a lot, it's nice to have the extra battery and the extra controls when I'm shooting in portrait orientation. If I'm, was taking it to something casual, not a commercial job, or I really had weight restriction issues, then I'd leave the grip behind. And next up is my BlackRapid SPORT. I've got most of the different BlackRapid straps. This is the one I like the most. I use it a lot when I'm just using one camera. This is the one that I'll use 90% of the time. It's great ergonomic design. The extra clip to tie it around yourself is excellent, and it just saves your back and neck and arm a lot by being able to drop it to your side when you're not using it. So love that. Great combination, can't go wrong. Next up, the 105 DC Nikon. Fun lens, got that one in Hong Kong. I have been using it on portrait shoots. The bokeh is beautiful. The focus for an older lens is really impressive. I'm quite surprised by it. And I love that it is ungelded. It's still got an aperture ring, so I can use that on my older body as well. Made in Japan, been around for a long time. Beautiful lens, great value if you want a really sharp, beautiful portrait lens and you don't have a heap of money. I would suggest you get that over the 85 1.4 lenses. Depth of field is close and the bokeh is just as good, and that focus is quicker. So lovely lens. Speaking of, here is my 85 1.4G. Great lens, I love it. 77mm filter thread that shares with the 70-200 and the 24-70, which is handy, so you don't need to keep buying different filters. There is something magic about the 85 focal length, I have to say. I don't use it that often, and at 1.4 you're really struggling to not let too much light in, but it's just a beautiful lens. I would still love it if they followed Canon and made a 1.2, but I do love that one. I probably use it as much for personal work as I do for commercial work. Next up is what I just introduced actually. It's a Tamron 90mm 2.8 macro lens. I can't say too much about that because I've literally shot about 12 shots of it of a little flower, but it gives you a f-stop down to 64, focuses down to under 30 centimeters. And from the testing I've seen and the little sample I saw, it looks quite sharp, and the focus is good considering how small the depth of field is when you're shooting at macro. Next up, I use the Nikon 1.7 teleconverter. I tested all three of them, and the 1.4 to 1.7 I didn't see much or really any image degradation to worry about, and 1.7 is obviously a better boost in your range. The two, I felt there was a bit of image loss, so I went for the 1.7, pair that with the 70-200, which is my longest fast lens, by the way. I don't have really long lenses. I do the occasional event, but nothing that requires, you know, a 400 or something like that, which I'm thankful because they cost a fortune. But with that one, that becomes, you know, a 340 lens, f4 or 5.6 or something like that. So nice little combo there. I have still a bag full of old poverty wizards, what they called. These were just random ones I bought on eBay. I did an antenna mod on the sender, and they're okay. And if you're getting started doing strobist stuff, I would say don't rush out and buy pocket wizards because strobist work is not for everyone. Probably at least half of people lose interest and then don't continue shooting, but they'll get you started. They work reasonably often. If it's not commercial work and you're learning and you're having fun, then it doesn't matter if you get a misfire now and then. And then as you're going forward, if you want more reliable results, whether it's for yourself or for commercial work, then you might look at getting pocket wizards, which for me are the gold standard. Next up, I have a set of Kenko extension tubes. Now, I don't use them too often, but if you want to convert a normal lens into being able to focus like a macro, they're really handy for that. I don't think I've even done a video on that, so if you're interested, leave me a comment and I'll show you how to use those. Next up is this Smart Mic, My Mic, that I just introduced from the distributor sent me to test out. Seems pretty cool. I'll be using that one more in future. Next up is the Tamron 18-270 travel lens, I consider it to be. Ultimate travel lens, so light, fast, great range, and the price is a lot more competitive than the Nikon 18-200. I've owned the 18-200, fantastic lens. Just for me, that one was great on my recent trip. Again, if you haven't seen that, check out the playlist. Yeah, nice. Quality's just fine, and for travel type shots, it's just great value. Can't go past it. Next up is the 60mm one macro from Tamron. That's a DX lens, so that's now beside its 90mm brother. That one was just on loan. I'll be returning that, but I got some lovely shots with that. That's a fun lens if you're using a DX body. Definitely check it out. It's good. It gives you good image results. If you really get into it, then you can upgrade into something more expensive and professional, but it's great. I don't do macro for commercial work, so I'm not going to drop thousands of dollars on a lens. Next up is the Tamron 70-300 variable aperture zoom lens. I take this sometimes when I don't want to carry the big heavy lens and it has a little bit more range for me. Amazing VR on that thing. Seriously, the VR2 on the 70-200 is famous for how good it is. That thing it'll blow your mind, and for the price, unbelievable. Check out the video I did on that one. Really, it genuinely astounded me. Next up, I've got one of these electronic timer remotes. That's a cheap and cheerful Yongnuo one. Use it a little bit. I generally, when I'm shooting landscapes though, I shoot in manual, so I haven't gotten a whole hell of a lot of use out of it. Next up is a little Diana mini camera. That's a 35mm Lomo. I just love it. It's cute, it's fun, it's cool to crack out at parties. I take some travel shots with it. Use the cheapest film I can find, cross-process it or whatever, and you can get some really interesting results. Next up is my Nikon FE. As I've always said, that is and always will be, well, let's wait until I get the D4, but my favorite camera. It's just a dream to shoot with. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't. I've got that 1.8D lens on that. Seriously, if Nikon would release a body with a phenomenal cutting edge sensor, that build quality, that level of controls, all I need is shutter speed, aperture, ISO adjustment, a timer function, and that's about it. But they build it in a cheap, lighter body that's really strong, made of steel, without all of these other features that you don't use that often, and then price it accordingly. I'll buy 3 of them. A set of Rogue gels for when I'm doing strobe stuff. They're really handy. Now let's have a look in the next bag. Okay, this is the ProRoller Lite 150. In here I have, we don't need to see all my spare batteries, but I have spare batteries for everything. That's one for the video camera. And then I use a range of different memory card wallets. This one is the low Pro one. I also use Think Tank ones. In here I have a battery pack for flash from Pixel. I have the Tamron 10-24 variable aperture zoom lens. That's a DX one. I use that sometimes on video, but I need to manual focus, so that can be a bit tricky. But if you're at a wide angle at a reasonable f-stop, you get a huge focal range. Yes, you get a lot of depth of field, so no problem with that. Again, excellent value. All of the Tamron lenses, if you're tossing up which way to go, they're a good option. Next up is this Zoom handheld recorder. I use that when I'm interviewing people. I just introduced this one. You can check out that link to see more about that one. This is a remote trigger for my Skyport, which is the Elinchrom lighting system. I also carry a P7000 Nikon point and shoot camera. If something dies on the 5100, this is normal HD, not full HD, but it still has an input for an external mic system, a hot shoe, and it takes good quality pictures for a point and shoot. So I carry that around, and it's really handy. It uses the same batteries as the 5100 and the same memory cards, and they don't need to be formatted, the cards, when switching one from the other. They have never had an issue for me, so that's really handy. Next up I have the Inca variable neutral density filter. Really clever. Check out the link. I use that one a lot. It's handy. It replaces having lots of filters in my bag. Then I use the Pocket Wizard TT system often. So there's the sender for that one. The receiver is actually on a light stand. I also use +2, so I have a few of those. I've just brought one of those as well. It's a little audio cable. Expo Disc Portrait, really handy, love using that one. Use it a lot when I'm doing portraiture and I change lighting environments. You can just pop that on, take a custom reading. If in the end you want to do something different, you still can, but if you want to pretty much nail it and then not have to make adjustments in post, that's really handy. Next up, 14 to 24 zoom lens, 2.8. Now that's, you know, the holy trinity, 14 to 24, 24 to 70, 70 to 200, all 2.8, all beautiful and sharp, fast, accurate focus. The 14 to 24, of course, down at 14, you get some distortion at the edges. That's to be expected, but it's easily corrected. And of course, I can't forget, you're watching me on the D5100 from Nikon, which I love. I bought it just for HD video and I think it does a great job. And I use the Sennheiser, what are they, EW112 G3 wireless transmitters for the audio. It's great. That's currently on the Velbon VS433D tripod. Great, really versatile, all the positions it can get into. It looks like a crane, as one of the viewers pointed out. That's a great setup. And I'm filming this on the 50mm 1.4 G lens, which really should be in a pride of place here as well. It's a fantastic lens. I'd say if I had to shoot, there's lots of jobs that if I had to shoot the job with just one lens, I'd probably go for either the 24 to 70 or the 50mm 1.4 G. Just a sublime lens, and it renders things beautifully. The color reproduction is great, and just the separation you can create with it is beautiful. So I always have spare lens caps. I have genuine ones and fake ones, and rear of lens caps, and then flash feet. If I want to hide a flash in a scene, I'll use one of those. Batteries, I mainly use Eneloops, but I have some non-rechargeables as well. Always in one of my bags, I'll have business cards. If someone is, you know, runs into you and asks about your services and says, do you have a card? That's so much better than writing your details on a napkin. That's why we have cards. No point in printing them and then not carrying them with you, in my opinion. Okay, that's 2 bags down. Now I should mention my Gitzo tripod. This is the GT2540T Traveler carbon fiber. You know, I love this tripod. I love it. This is, it's like my 24 to 70. It's just so reliable. I have no doubts about using this tripod ever. The design, every part of it, the locking mechanisms, the leg locks, the way everything moves around, how it's such light and easy to lock things, but once it's locked, you need to be He-Man to move it. It's just, it's a design masterpiece, and I'm getting another Gitzo. I like it so much. I do use other tripods as well, but that's my main one. Now, in this low pro bag, I have odds and bods. So, this is some color gels from Honel. Here we have loads of filters. So I use the Cokin filters when I'm using slide-in filters. So I have lots of different ones. I just brought a handful of them there basically. This is the Honel speed strap that you use to attach all the different Honel accessories. That's a gel off the front of, I think it's the SB700, 800. Other filters, Hoya NDs, circular polarizers, more Cokin. This is a external flash cable, so you can pop that onto your flash, onto your hot shoe, then pop your flash onto this and move the flash out. So if my Pocket Wizards dies, there's a way to get my camera off, my flash off camera. Another Honel photo speed strap. This is a Think Tank card holder. I've got a bunch of these. This one I haven't even opened yet, but I always like to have spares of this kind of stuff. I wouldn't normally carry this with me, but it was just in the bag. That's the Pixel Pocket Rocket. As I said, everywhere I have spare lens caps and flash feet. In Hong Kong, they just cost next to nothing, so I'll buy 10 of them and then just have spares in all my bags because you don't always find the one that you took off. This is the adapter for the Cokin filter system to go on the front. Hard drive, I'll normally carry a couple of hard drives when I'm traveling. Now this wouldn't ordinarily be in my camera bag, but it is today because if I'm on the road and editing pictures on my laptop at night, for example, I'll want to recalibrate my monitor to make sure that I'm, you know, getting it right considering the current lighting. So that's what I use, the Color Vision Spider. Last bag for today is a Think Tank Urban Disguise 40 V2. Now this is, you know, you see someone carrying that and you think, you know, they're a very stylish and debonair businessman. But I use this as a flash bag when I'm going on a strobo shoot, and I have a couple of flashes. So let's make some space here. Okay, so this is SB26 from Nikon. That's a few years old, but they're bulletproof. The main thing, or the only thing you really have to worry about, as long as it's all functioning, the zoom's working, it's flashing consistently, check the foot for any cracks or chips or anything, because that's the part that breaks. And you can replace the foot, but it's also excuse me, a pain in the backside to do it if you don't know what you're doing. They're older, cheap, and if you're getting started, they have a great optical slave, which is what you're looking at. That's another one. That said, I've recently been testing out the 460 and 560 from Yongnuo, these ones, and really impressed. I don't think they have the same power of the SB26, but the optical slave on them works fine, and they're cheaper and new. Then I have the 800 and 900 flashes, and the 700. Now I also have another one, that's not here though, anyway, and the grid from Honol. I actually have the full Honol range. I also have the full Rogue range, which has the Rogue Bender strap series, but that's most of the gear. I don't know how much you really want to see. If you want to see everything, obviously I haven't brought all the light stands and umbrellas and light modifiers and studio equipment, that kind of thing. And heaven forbid if I brought all my bags. Actually, that could be interesting. Instead of what's in my camera bag, what camera bags are in my storage, because there must be 15 or 20 of them. Let me know if you'd like to see what I use different bags for. So I'm conscious this video is getting long, so I've said a little bit about what I do with the different gear. Most of them I've done an introductory video on though, or used them in shoots. So take a look around, search for the gear in my channel, click the links and you can see what's there. And let me know if you'd like to know, you know, what gear I would take on a normal portrait shoot. It's not all of this. You don't need all of this, and I don't take all of that. But I could show you what I take if I'm going to shoot a baby, or if I'm going to shoot a swimwear model, or if I'm going to, you know, that kind of thing. Or if you want to see what I do for a wedding, you can click through to the wedding, how to shoot a wedding series, and all of that's covered there. Okay guys, so I hope that was helpful. Click to subscribe, click to like if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. This is Matt Granger, that Nikon guy, for MattGranger.com.